It all begins at Mow Cop, dominated by the Folly, built in 1754. This windswept hillside is the birthplace of primitive Methodism. A camp meeting in 1807 was held by Hugh Bourne and William Clowes. It overlooks the Cheshire Plain and the Jodrell Bank telescope, which keeps a watchful eye on the skies. It's not hard to sense the history in these surroundings. The Old Man of Mow is a remnant of rock left standing by the quarrymen. He enjoys an exceptional view. So let's begin our walk. It only takes a few steps downward to be strolling again through the rural countryside with its farms and villages. Once down from the windy hilltop, the leafy walks across the fields brings a welcome shade. Passing through villages and more leafy lanes, we arrive at Rudyard Lake. Rudyard Lake was once called one of the most famous holiday resorts in Staffordshire. It certainly appealed to Mr. and Mrs. Kipling from the Potteries, who named their son Rudyard after the lake. The lake is man-made and built in 1797 to feed the local canal system. About 2 miles long and 1/4 mile wide, it is still used for boating, canoeing and fishing. The Staffordshire Way leads through many small towns and fields, giving a real glimpse of rural England. Penkridge has been a traveller's resting spot since Roman times, and the White Hart Inn is said to have accommodated Queen Elizabeth. The town is of Saxon origin, and Penkridge is from a Celtic word meaning end of boundary. The Church of St. Michael and All Angels is worth a stop if you have time. The way takes us over the River Trent by the Essex Bridge, the longest remaining packhorse bridge in England. 14 of its original 40 arches are remaining. Shugborough Hall was built in the 1690s. At the time of this video, it was owned by the Earl of Lichfield and open to the public. The stable block now houses a museum. Cannock Chase is an ancient royal forest and is rich in oak and wildlife. Small streams crisscross the valleys and the stepping stones are a special delight. The chase is not just for walkers, but draws local residents who are looking for fun and relaxation. Once out of the trees, we find ourselves in open country filled with grasses and heather. It is here that the Staffordshire Way crosses path with the start of the Heart of England Way. Stay with our way though, and it brings you to the trig point on the site of the old Brockton Army Camp. Here too is the glacial boulder which arrived in the Ice Age from southern Scotland. The canal, which once carried barges over the industrial heart of England, now bring peace and quiet to boaters and walkers alike. Here's a chance to see the recreational use of these wonders of 18th century ingenuity. first iron bridge in the world was erected in this area. This is another one built by Telford, carrying the canal over the Watling Street. The delightful town of Brood nestles against the canal and invites the walker to stop and partake of its mix of shops and cafes. Here you can sample your tea or coffee in a true English garden. Its quiet streets and quaint buildings make Brood a pleasant place to visit. So Staffordshire Way reaches its end. Or its beginning, if that's your route. We will end it with one last climb for the views. I hope we have encouraged you to dip into the Way, or even tackle the whole 92 miles. Consider subscribing so you don't miss out on more videos to come.